The newest Pokemon TCG set, Obsidian Flames, will kick off the 2024 season in full gear with the first major event taking place on September 8 in Pittsburgh. Cards like Charizard EX and Pidgeot EX are about to get their time in the spotlight for the very first time, as these have not been played in any major tournament yet, even in Japan. Charizard EX is a new big name on the block, but it won't be a dominant force like what Lugia V-Star was pre-rotation. Even though as a dark type it has an inherent advantage against Mew VMAX or Gardevoir EX potentially, it also has to face off against other threats such as Giratina V-Star, Xianpao EX, Turbo Lost Box, Disruptive Arceus variants, and even Miraidon EX seems to be on an upwards trend. The big question on everyone's minds is, how will the metagame change heading into a new season after Worlds with this brand new set and cards? And the answer is probably not too much. This is what I predict the metagame will look like heading into the first regional of the season in terms of popularity. If you want to support the channel, you can use code Tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 10% off on your aluminum accessories at TC Evolutions. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. ¿Eres de México y necesitas cartas de Pokémon? Busca Hyperbeam Cards en Facebook e Instagram. Y si estás en Tijuana, búscalos en el local C27 en el centro comercial Otay. Lost Zone Giratina V-Star is a fast and powerful deck, and also one of the most forgiving Lost Zone based decks as you play multiple copies of pretty much all cards. You have early aggression through Camarant, can build the Lost Zone a bit faster thanks to Giratina V's Abyss Seeking, and you have very powerful attacks in Lost Impact and Star Requiem, which deal very effectively with other top decks. Lost Impact's 280 is perfect for V-Stars or Vs, and Star Requiem is perfect for anything that has more than that amount of HP. And let's not forget about what many people call the gatekeeper of the format, Sableye. Lost Mine is still a very good and powerful attack, and seems like it will only keep getting stronger as we get more new powerful Pokemon EX evolutions that require benching 60 or 70 HP basics throughout the course of the game. Now as far as deck list options, there's a ton of variation possibilities, such as the amount of water and jet energy in the deck, the amount of stadiums, the amount of disruption with Iono and Roxanne counts, and even tech options such as Snorlax, Spiritomb, or Drapion EX. Here's my current favorite deck list for the deck, but like I said, this is super flexible overall. Charizard EX. The new shiny toy is always going to feature big time in the first immediate tournament, and with good reason. If you've been playing for the last 6 months, the metagame has not changed too much in terms of deck variety. So many people will play this deck for the novelty factor in order to play something fresh. However, Charizard EX is indeed pretty good, and so far it is being combined successfully with Pidgeot EX and Arceus V-Star. Its ability Infernal Rain is very powerful, and is usually the case with energy advantage abilities, and allows you to power up Charizard EX out of the blue, as well as another potential backup attacker. When combined with Arceus V-Star, it also gives you more room to whiff a turn 1 attachment on Arceus V if you even intend on attacking with it early, as you can power it up as well. And since you're playing Rare Candy anyways, might as well play Pidgeot EX in there to help you find the right resources at the right time. Imagine having access to Forest Seal Stone every single turn. I myself think I underestimated Pidgeot EX, and it's going to make a bigger splash in the deck sooner than I thought. It being a stage 2 does mean it takes extra resources to set up, and Charmeleon is not good, so it's difficult to justify this as a standalone deck like Gardevoir EX can thanks to Kirlia. But so far both Pidgeot EX and Arceus V-Star seem to be great partners for Charizard EX. Its dark typing is also beneficial when Gardevoir EX and Mew VMAX are such powerful decks as well, so hitting those for weakness and combined with humongous HP makes Charizard EX a formidable card. Here's my current favorite deck list for the deck, but keep in mind I have not played with the deck too much just yet. Gardevoir EX has a fantastic ability in Psychic Embrace, and has more than proven itself to be a powerful deck that will surely remain so in the near future. Being a stage 2 makes it require a lot of setup and solid starts to work well, but it has a lot of self-integrated support with Kirlia and Gardevoir in the same line, and even Memory Skip Ralts has its crucial use in some situations. All of these elements make for a very powerful deck, and Iono is especially strong in Gardevoir EX decks as you'll usually need 1 or 2 turns to establish your Ralts and Kirlias before the deck starts attacking. Being able to take away resources from your opponent's hand whilst gaining a bunch yourself in continuous turns is very strong. On top of being able to conserve crucial cards like stadiums, either Gardevoir and other key cards, instead of having to discard all your resources through Professor's Research. This allows for the deck to catch up after falling behind during setup. I don't think any of the new cards from Obsidian Flames are relevant in this deck, so I expect most decks will look very similar to Tord's second place Gardevoir EX deck from the World Championships. Xianpao EX Baxcalibur is a deck that got a lot of hype in the lead up to Worlds and was continually the most popular deck in the online tournament scene. As the debate rages on about whether to play Palkia V-Star versus Arceus V-Star or neither, this deck has yet to get a standout result, but is still a popular choice amongst players and should not be underestimated. I think we are still to see this deck at its best, and this is another one that I think will continue to get better as more and more high HP Pokemon EX evolutions come out, which Xianpao EX can make quick work of, whilst Radiant Greninja can threaten the low HP basics they evolve from. This is especially strong with the combination of Cross Switcher and Canceling Cologne, and I fully expect Xianpao to shine more and more with Obsidian Flames and beyond. Once again though, Obsidian Flames offers very little in terms of new tools for the deck, so the top performing list from Worlds by Hui Yuan is a really great option. The Colress Comfey engine has always been at the top of the metagame. It enables a cheap and fast attacking option in Cramorant, a powerful spread attack that goes through Manaphy and Sableye, and a multitude of primary and tech attackers via Mirage Gate. Because of the engine's incredible flexibility, many distinct Lockbox archetypes are able to compete together in the same metagame. The majority of the decks being played though feature Dragonite V, Raikou V, Drapion V, and 2-3-4 Seal Stone, the variant most commonly known as Turbo Lost Box. However, there are others such as Radiant Charizard, Kyogre, and more recently even a Washin EX variant popping up. These decks are still powerful, but Obsidian Flames does bring a new threat in Pokemon League headquarters, as it makes it harder for all your basic Pokemon to attack by adding a colorless cost. Combine this with Iono, and whiffing attacks could be something to worry about even more. Having said that, I expect this archetype to continue to do well due to its speed and ability to adapt to the metagame accordingly by including appropriate attackers and pairing them up through Mirage Gate. This is my favorite Turbo Lost Box deck at the moment. If you have enjoyed the video so far and found the information useful, please consider becoming a Tablemon channel member through the join button down below. For as low as $1.99 a month, you can help support the creation of these videos. Arceus V-Star and Giratina V-Star is one of the most disruptive decks in the format, featuring 4 Iono and 4 Judge along with 4 Path to a Peak. With so many of the previously listed decks relying on abilities to work well, as well as Mew VMAX, Miraidon EX and Lugia V-Star, this amount of disruption paired with high HP and hard hitting attacks makes this deck a powerful threat in the metagame. This deck is also very linear overall, so it's a good pick for players starting out or who want to simplify their choices during a turn as much as possible whilst remaining threatening. Sometimes keeping it simple is best. Proper resource management and decent starts means this deck is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Here's a sample list for you to try out. Miraidon EX is one of the most underrated decks maybe ever. It continually manages to do well, and with a self-sufficient consistency engine in Miraidon EX's tandem unit ability, this deck can hit hard and fast and run away with games early on. However, it is not a popular choice amongst top players for sure, and Miraidon EX no longer has the new shiny toy effect from the beginning of the Scarlet and Violet era, and also suffers from dwindling down in power as quickly as it applies early game pressure. Obsidian Flames didn't bring anything new to the deck, whilst it can be potentially hindered by Pokemon League headquarters, so I expect this deck to see play but not quite a lot of it. This list is a great option to playtest and consider using at upcoming tournaments. Mew VMAX, the world champion deck and the deck that just won't go away. It certainly has a special place in my heart, having made top 4 at EUIC with it this past April. However, this is probably the deck impacted the most by the release of Charizard EX, as a high HP dark type Pokemon that can easily 1KO Mew VMAX is its worst nightmare. So even though it has withstood the plethora of counters from Path to Peak, Drapion V and Spiritomb, Charizard EX is another nail in Mew's coffin. Having said that, Charizard EX will not be the end all be all best deck in the format with 35% of the meta share, which means if there aren't enough counters being played because it isn't respected, and you dodge playing too many Charizard EX decks, we might still see this deck have deep runs at tournaments in the near future. With no new cards being really relevant to the deck, I think the World Champion deck list is probably your best bet to use at the moment. Finally, and perhaps unexpectedly, we have Lugia V-Star. Coming off of a strong showing at Worlds in day 1, this deck is in a weird position now, and that's why I listed it at the end. A colorless version is strong against Lost Bugs and what the best deck might be in Giratina V-Star. However, it struggles against other powerful decks at the top. The single strike version is also quite formidable overall, but both suffer from the continuous release of high HP evolved Pokemon. Specifically Charizard EX this time, which is impossible for Lugia V-Star decks to 1-KO unless they play something obscure like Covalion, as Tyranitar's single strike crush maxes out at 320 damage with 4 single strike energy and Charizard EX conveniently has 330 HP. However, Arceus remain one of the best energy acceleration cards ever printed, so perhaps let's not count Lugia V-Star out just yet. As for deck lists, this one is my favorite for colorless Lugia V-Star, and then this one I'm a fan of for the single strike variant. Hopefully this video helps you out with a solid understanding of the powerful decks that you're likely to see at the upcoming Pittsburgh Regionals, as well as any cups or challenges you might have coming up soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and leave a comment if you found it useful or if you think there's something I overlooked. Until next time!